Okay, I found more of my 12 Days of Christmas ornaments. Of course, none of them play music. This is 10 drummers drumming. Six geese a-laying. Three French hens. And 8 maids a-milking. And then I had also found another one a little bit earlier that was 11 dancers dancing. So stay tuned, and as I find more, I'll let you know. So I went through a phase after my quilting phase when I was doing all kinds of things with the quilting fabric. And part of it was cutting out the patterns that was in the fabric. And one year I made name tags for the Christmas presents. So this one was Jim, and this one was to Lauren. And when they took the presents, they left the name tags. So I hang these on my tree now. Homemade by me. This is a really old ornament. I think it used to hang on the tree when I was a little girl, and I got it from my mom. And this is another one of those ornaments that my mother was giving me, those sets of great big ornaments for 2 or 3 years in a row. Find that one that moves the light. This is an ornament that was my Grandma O'Connor's that I think she used to have on her tree. I'd say this ornament is probably from the 1940s, maybe the 1950s. And so I'm not sure how I got it. I think my mother had it on her tree, and then my mom said I could have it. So this is a real old ornament. And it's got a little glass flame in the candle that he's holding, which is real unusual. They don't combine like the fabric with the glass these days. And his head's a little wobbly from age. This is 7 swans a-swimming. When my nieces were born, so they're about 22, 23 now, and they were 3 or 4 or 5 years old, I bought a set of ornaments that were based upon the 12 Days of Christmas. And they actually used to play music. You can actually still feel the chip inside, although, you know, this is like 20-some years old. And I think this may be the only one I have left of these. And this is 7. You can see the 7 right there. Got it? Swans a-swimming. And this was one of the ones I used to always put on the low branches, because when the girls were real little, and then like when Andy came along, they used to go around and squeeze them and make noises. But different ones have disappeared through the years. Okay, this ornament is a frog. My mother gave me this ornament. It's supposed to represent the fairy tale, The Frog Prince. She gave it to me back before I met Jim, with the comment that someday my prince will come. And then I met Jim. And, speaking of Jim, I got lighthouse ornaments for him on different years. And this one, this blue one, was from 1998. I actually met the lady who painted it. And I'm not sure when the red and white one is from. But there's some of my ornaments. This one needs a hook. Okay, these three ornaments, I graduated from college in 1980, and I had moved out my senior year into an apartment, and I never moved back home. And I always had real trees for, I don't know, the first 10, 15 years after I graduated from college. So I shared an apartment with somebody my first year I was graduating, and then my next year I moved to Fairborn when I had a job. And these are some of the ornaments I bought that first year when I had my tree. And so it was probably about 1981, 82 when I got the ornaments of these sets. So these are historical now because it's 2013. Okay, these are more of the style that Jim was making in 1994. And I really like the ornaments that he made.
Okay.
After I was in college, and Stephen moved out to Virginia. I used to drive out to Virginia by myself every once in a while and see him. And one of the times when I went out, I stopped at a place where they did glass blowing. And so I bought this along with some other glass ornaments, which must be in a different box, for myself. They were hand-blown glass. And so I've had these, graduated from college in 1980, so it was probably since the early 80s. Stephen would have graduated maybe about 86. And then he got married right when he got graduated, so maybe shortly after that. Okay, in 1994 and thereabouts, Jim was really into painting ornaments. And he was painting them, and I don't know what he was doing with them, but I finally asked him for some for me. So I'm going to show you the ones that I managed to get from him. And there's actually two of them that have his name and the date on the back, so I know where they came from. So this angel was one. Then he was doing stockings, and Santa stockings, and I thought these were really cute. This is from something that he made back before I met him. And I managed to get this one somehow. He made a bunch of these Santas, but he wasn't going to give me one. So finally I got one from him. And I think these two were ornaments he may have made before. Nope, these were 1994 ornaments too. So I have these to hang on the tree. These are really old ornaments. My grandmother, Grandma O'Connor, in the probably early 70s, late 60s, used to make ornaments like these with my mother. It was after she came to move in with us. And she used to order these kits from a company called Lee Ward's. I don't even know if it still exists. And it's all kinds of intricate little beads in a styrofoam ball. And these are the two main ones that I have left from when she used to make these. And we used to all make them with her. So these were on my very first trees when I got these. And I think I might have even made this one. If I didn't, I made one like it. But that's my grandmother's style, with the fancy ribbon and everything. These are two remaining Hummel ornaments from a set of 4. They were given to me when I was in high school by Kevin Lyons, who was a friend that I ran around with. He and Larry Faulkner and I used to run around a lot together. And Kevin was almost like a member of my family. I think he and I dated for a little bit. He and Eileen dated for a little bit. He used to come hang out at our house at holidays when he wasn't dating anybody. And so he gave these to me. So I've had these ever since I had my first Christmas tree. And there were 4, but there's 2 left. My mom knew I was really into ornaments, so there were like 3 years she gave me sets of these great big huge ornaments. And this was back when I used to have a real tree, which would frequently have big empty spots in them, and they were great for hiding the empty spots. And that was probably 2006, 5 or 6, when she was giving me some of these. There was a year I was between jobs and I was doing quilting shows, and I want to say it was probably early 1990s, and I made myself a bunch of ornaments. I also made ones for other people and sold them. So I have a number of these homemade ornaments from when I was making all those quilts and going to craft shows and selling them. This tree is made from cedar wood from Jerusalem. It was given to me by Mike and Almira, who were a couple from Israel. I think they were Palestinian, who lived down the street from us when we lived on Longbow Lane. And I also, out of old habit of all my nieces and nephews, tend to put the non-breakable ornaments more towards the bottom and the breakable ornaments more towards the top. That's from when everybody was little. We didn't want the baby getting to the breakable ornaments. Approximately 2009 or 10, when Jim and I were up at the condo, I went to a major craft fair, and this is one of the ornaments I bought at the craft fair up in around the Hartville area. And it's a ribbon bow dipped in glitter, and it was made by some high school kids who were doing it as a fundraiser. And so I bought it from them. I thought it was cute. Always thought I'd try and make one of these. It's harder than it looks. That's the end of the story for that. Right after Grandma O'Connor died, I found a set of 3 or 4 of these fruit ladies. And Grandma O'Connor was always really into really fancy things, and they made me think about her. So I had bought these, and they're really cute and different. And I think about Grandma O'Connor, who is my mother's mother.
When did she die?
I don't know when she died. I'd have to check with Mom. And
Okay.
when Carolyn was born, the theme for her room that Kathy did was carousels, horses. And so at that time, I got myself a carousel horse ornament. So it's probably about as old as Carolyn, which would make it 22, 23 years old by now. And that's one of my ornaments. It always makes me think of when Carolyn was born. This is a very old hand-painted pipe ornament. It reminds me of my Grandpa O'Connor, who died when I think I was about 12. These ornaments were given to me the year I was born, in 1958. They were the first ornaments on my tree, or they were given to my parents. I think they were given to us either by John Zmerk, who is my godfather, or Mary Wurst, who is my godmother, but I can't remember which one. My mother would know. But these are as old as I am. My grandmother and my mother went through a period of time where they were taking eggshells and making ornaments out of them. I can't remember if this is one they made or one I bought because it was very similar to what they made. But I've had this for 15, 20 years maybe. Because it reminded me of what they used to do. And they used to blow the yolk out of the eggshell, and we'd have tons of scrambled eggs. And then they'd try and cut the eggshell to make it this round, and they would decorate it like that. This is an ornament that my boss, Sue McGath, gave me last year, so it would have been at the work 2012 Christmas party. It's really cool. What it is a peacock feather inside a glass-blown ornament. And you can actually even see the hole where they would have stuffed the feather in. This is one of the best gifts she ever gave us, in my opinion. This is another ornament from, I think, from the same company that made the first two. And I don't remember if this was given to Bobby or if it was given on my second birthday. And this is another ornament that I bought one year because it seems to match the other ones. And so I really liked it. It's very delicate, and the hair is like real hair on it, and it's hand-blown glass. In the late 1980s, I bought a whole set of these cardboard Mother Goose ornaments because they're all Mother Goose and fairy tales. So this is, I want to say it's Little Boy Blue. And here's Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? And here's Mother Goose. So I just wanted to show you some of those.